Hey everybody, this week we went to 2 War on Drugs shows, one in Seattle, one in Vancouver. Both nights were fantastic. They've got an excellent band from Richmond, Virginia supporting them on the tour. This is part 1 of episode 55 of In It to Spin It with White Laces. So we'll start the show with Parcel Time in some frustration-free packaging, which never quite lives up to its name, I must say. This parcel is from Matador. The band is Future Islands, their new album Singles. If you care about music a little bit, I'm sure you've seen the Letterman performance right now. I mean, what a way to make your television debut. Here's the link if you haven't seen this by any chance. Incredible, legendary performance. It will go down as one of the greatest. I'm sure it's boosted sales and shows have sold out because of it. Came with 11x17 promo poster in there. These guys have been around for a while, but nice packaging, nice collage art there. Liner comes with lyrics, standard heavy vinyl. I bought tickets to their show here in Vancouver for this Friday, less than 2 minutes after seeing the performance. Can't wait to see what they do live.
Down here.
So en route to the show in Seattle, we thought we'd stop at Aladdin's again. This is a fantastic record store off I-5. It's antiques as well, but it's the Lakeview exit for anybody in Vancouver that's heading to Seattle or vice versa. Great place to stop. It's just packed with good stuff. Some of the consignment prices are pretty high, but the stuff that the store itself sells is very fairly priced. Just as a music fan, there's every type of media just to look at. It's really, really cool. Tons of 45s. Penny Lane Antiques and Aladdin's, they're kind of two stores conjoined upstairs and downstairs. Both got good finds. I found a Dinosaur Jr. 7-inch Freak Scene. Pretty nice find for a good price. It's on purple vinyl. Found an early Beck. This is like his second or third ever 7-inch. Steve Threw Up and Motherfucker there. An Aerosmith single, because who doesn't want the Wayne's World theme on vinyl? An Iggy Pop album, live I believe this stuff is. This is pretty cool, a Jam 12-inch. Early Straubs. I've never heard much Straubs, but I picked this up for a very fair price. This is a Canadian-only pressing. Bought this just for the cover, like in disco stuff too, but with songs named Boogie Uptown, Love Maker, and Super Slick. Can't go wrong with that one. Picked up this Morning album, Bob Dylan, New Morning. Took a chance on this one, Ghetto Vibes by King Short Shirt. I'm a big fan of reggae. This stuff came out in the 70s in New York. And I finally found a Time Fades Away that I was willing to buy for a decent price. These can be very expensive. This has never been pressed to CD, so tough one to get. Glad to add it.
Hi. Got you.
Cherry Coke in Bellingham on the way to the War on Drugs at the Neptune. Just hit up the record store at Aladdin's. Now we're on the road. So we made it to the Neptune. It's pretty cool. They've got a record store right underneath the venue. And you know you're in a good part of Seattle in 2014 when this is still being scrawled on brick walls.
Before the show.
Chakra Energy.
This next song's for everyone out on Bainbridge Island. That's where Dave's family's from. Dave on the bass. That's where you're from? Are you part of Dave's family? Hey, you never know. Small island. Fuck yeah! You better.
So the Seattle crowd was very appreciative that night. Let's have a look at our chat with White Laces. It turns out the band does have a Vancouver connection, as they were crashing with a member of the Courtneys after the Vancouver gig. They've got a great full sound, a live presence. Jimmy, you could not have timed that beer better that night, and I thank you very much for that. This is White Laces.
Hey everybody, we're White Laces. We're from Richmond, Virginia. It's really great to be in Canada. We've been here for 2 hours.
Ready? Action?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Okay, guys, here we go. Hey, everybody out there. We are glad to be here in Vancouver at the Biltmore Sold Out War on Drugs show with Jimmy, Jay, Dash, and Landis, who make up White Laces. Say hi to everybody out there, guys.
Hey, everybody.
Glad to be here with you again. Saw you guys in Seattle last night. It's a killer show. Good set.
Thanks a lot, man.
Welcome to Vancouver. It's not only your first time here, but first U.S. tour, I heard.
That's right.
You guys are out of Richmond, Virginia. Okay, great. Last night was good. A little different venue from last night.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just crazy that the War on Drugs are still playing this thing, but there was scheduling conflicts around town. That's the word. So that's why. So your first EP, we can have a visual here, came out in 2011, right? And then your second album, Moves, came out in 2012.
Yes.
And forthcoming is Trance.
Yes.
And let's hear about it. Actually, before we hear about that, let's hear about the story of White Laces.
Okay.
I believe it started with you as bedroom recording and whatnot.
Actually, I started out, I think it was in 2011, maybe the tail end of 2010, and I did a bunch of demos in my house. I was living in the house with around 6 or 7 people, and I had a small room, so I was demoing stuff up there. And I convinced him to play drums with me.
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
The hero of yesterday for the 13-hour drive.
Yeah, absolutely. And so anyway, we had a garage, so we kind of just played in there, and we shuffled through a lot of people. He joined for a little bit, and then he quit, and then he came back.
Nice. What a guy.
And so we just kind of evolved from that. I don't know, and then that's pretty much what we did. We played around Richmond a lot. We started playing up and down the East Coast. We did that EP, and we did South by Southwest and some random stuff, and then, just band stuff.
Psych rock, there's some synth or keys in there, some garage rock stuff too, good wall of sound stuff on the new album. I've heard. Tell us about Trance and what fans can expect, and maybe potential fans, like what was the direction for this record, anybody? Trance, I've heard it, it's great. So.
Thank you. I'll talk about it a little bit. Well, for this record, really what I did differently is I built a lot of basic demos at home. And I would just kind of, instead of forcing myself to just use guitar or another instrument, I would just kind of come up with whatever was working and then send it to these guys, and then I would be like, well, how in the hell did we make this work? And we would kind of go back and forth and then go workshop it some more. And it was kind of a back and forth. We were trying a lot of new stuff. And we actually lost a member toward the middle of it. So
that's Alex.
Yes, that's Alex. We hung out with him in New York at Bowery Ballroom. We had a great time. He's a good dude. But he had, other stuff that he wanted to do. So we kind of built the record without him. And then we went up to Philadelphia with the same producer actually that produced Adam's the last couple War on Drugs records.
Okay.
And it was Jeff Ziegler, yeah.
Yeah, I knew it started with a Z. I didn't want to say the wrong name.
And yeah, we had never met him before, but I thought, you know, he produced some great records.
How did you get hooked up with him?
I emailed him. I had a couple people say,
emailed him.
Yeah, it was really
awesome,
out of the blue.
Man. Do it yourself.
Yeah. Well, there were a couple people who were like, "Oh, you should really do a record with Jeff." And I was like, "Well, I don't know him at all, but maybe it'll work." And we went up there and we did it in 7 days.
Wow.
So we kind of hammered it out. We were pretty exhausted, and then I don't know. That was really it. But I mean, we kind of turned it around so fast that we didn't really have time to sit down and like listen to it and like, you know, enjoy it until like, I guess we finished it in the end of December instead of the beginning of January, where we kind of were like, oh, we did this. That's cool. And then that's why we got this guy because we needed you know, synth samples, all that good stuff.
This stuff's more sample heavy.
Yeah.
We were trying to do a little bit more electronic stuff.
Yeah.
The demos started electronic, and then we had to translate it to a live band. So yeah, that's kind of.
Well, I saw it last night. I think it works. Street Date record label.
Yeah, we're in the middle of working on that right now. We're trying to figure out what makes the most sense with that and talking to a few
distribution
people.
and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's like, I mean, this tour really came out of the blue for us. Adam asked us to do it in January. A couple weeks after we finished the record, we were still recovering from having done that.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You want to go on tour?" And we were like, I just said yes. And he was like, "For a few dates," and I said, "We can do the whole thing." And then I had to call everyone else.
Because one of my questions coming up, we're covering that right now.
Yeah.
It's pretty phenomenal for a young band like you guys to be playing
God,
sold out shows.
It's
with a band that's pretty much coming into social consciousness right now.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
It's incredible to watch it
really,
happen. Honestly, it's an incredible pleasure to be able to watch them every night. And to be able to watch them just get better and better and do more interesting stuff. And it's probably, aside from the fact that it's a really cool thing, it's the best learning experience you could ask for as a band.
Yeah, I've seen them. This will be 5 times tonight, and what shocked me from last night is I think his, like, as a frontman, lead guitarist, he's gotten so good at lead guitar, as opposed to when I saw him in 2011. But it's really
he's got a really commanding presence.
It's kind of cool to see what like a small world it is, because the guy who recorded our first album, Kevin Micah, from Animal Hospital, he was in a band with the guy who did auxiliary stuff like saxophone, keys and other stuff. John. He didn't play in Seattle. He was playing in the East Coast stuff, and he stopped in Chicago. But they used to play in a band together, and then it's just like we're all finding out that we all know a lot of the same people.
And
so
John ends up, he lives like a few blocks from me in Chicago, and you know, we have all these. It's a tiny little world of music.
Okay, well, standouts for me that what I like on the album are Skate or Die. I love the track and the name, big 80s Nintendo guy. Janet's good, and Mountains, I gotta say, is my favorite, which was expertly introed last night. By the way, I think you did the intro, saying the drive through the Cascades. I think that's about it. We'll look for Trance, but you didn't touch on Street Date, did you?
Yeah, I know. Well, we're not going to touch it till we know for sure. I don't want to jinx
Summer,
it.
fall.
Yeah, summer, fall.
Okay, well, that's great. Look out for the album Trance by White Laces, and I think good things are coming from these guys. So thanks for doing this, guys.
Thank you. Thanks so much, man. Appreciate it.
No problem, guys.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you so much for the War on Drugs. War on Drugs are next.